Hey guys, this video is going to be called The Richest People in America. So, when you're trying to accumulate wealth, you look at the people who have wealth and how they got there. um, Probably the best way to become very wealthy in this country is own your own company and have that company become very successful. I see number one is Jeff Bezos. Um, and I want to say, excuse me, I want to say Bezos got a divorce. So I think his wife got half of his fortune. And the same thing with Bill Gates. But Bezos got rich on Amazon. But the wealthiest people in the world, they concentrated. They didn't diversify. They concentrated. So you got Amazon, then you got Elon Musk with Tesla, and just so you know, this year alone, I think Elon Musk sold $15 billion worth of Tesla stock. So he only owns 21%. Now, then you got Facebook, number three. And, back when Facebook was starting, I think the MySpace was even bigger than Facebook. So I don't know. I've never invested in Facebook. I never would have thought in a million years they would actually make money. Um, but they've done well. And look how old this guy is, 37. Bill Gates at number 4, Microsoft. And I remember when I was younger and we had the Commodore 64, we were playing Oregon Trail on an old Apple computer. Who would have ever guessed that, Microsoft would be worth $2 trillion or Apple be worth $3 trillion? Larry Page, Google, number 5. Number 6 is also a Google. Number 7, this is Oracle, Larry Ellison. Warren Buffett, my favorite, Berkshire Hathaway. Steve Ballmer, Microsoft. Bloomberg LP. They own Bloomberg, the TV show. They own a bunch of stuff. Now we got the Walmarts. Jim Walton, Walmart. Alice Walton, Walmart. Rob Walton, Walmart. Phil Knight and family, Nike. Mackenzie Scott, ex-wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. She's got $58 billion. Charles Koch Industries. Now, this isn't Coca-Cola. This is or Koch Industries. Pipelines, chemicals, Dixie cups, and Stainmaster carpet. Julia Koch and families. Michael Dell Computers. Schwarzman Investments. The son of a dry goods store owner, founded a private equity firm Blackstone with fellow billionaire Peter Peterson in 1985. I have no idea who this is. Now we got the Mars family, Mars Candy. Jacqueline Mars and John Mars. Daniel Gilbert, Quicken Loans. He also owns NBA Cleveland Cavaliers. He co-founded what would become Quicken Loans, the largest mortgage lender in the U.S. in 1985 at 22 years old. Addleston Casinos, Las Vegas Sands, which has casinos in Las Vegas, Singapore, and Monaco. Leonard Lauder, Estee Lauder, any woman would know what Estee Lauder is. You got PayPal, Money Management, CEO of Fidelity Investments. Jim Simmons, one of the greatest investors. At 24 billion. He's 83 years old. Facebook, Google, Murdoch and family, newspapers, TV network. Controls a media empire that includes cable channel Fox News, The Times of London, The Wall Street Journal, so most of Fox Movie Studio, FX, and the National Geographic networks, and a stake in Star India to Disney for 71.3 billion in March 2019. Sam Bankman-Fried, who should not be on this list anymore. That's a hilarious picture, by the way. Lauren Powell Jobs and family. This was Steve Jobs' wife. Apple and Disney. Jensen Hang or Hong or whatever. Nvidia. But I mean, look at their stock portfolio. 2 companies. Thomas Frisk Hospitals. A former Air Force flight surgeon founded Hospital Corp of America with his father. He took a public for the 3rd time in 2011. Ray Dalio, who is one of the largest hedge fund managers, who likes to hear himself talk a lot. Discount brokerages. But you get the picture. I mean, basically, and one thing that's interesting is you don't see real estate. Carl Icahn. You really don't see that many real estate because a lot. Or here's one at real estate. Is the richest real estate baron. $16.2 billion. But you know, a lot of fortunes were made in this country from real estate. But like I said, real estate is more accurately priced than stocks are. I mean, people will tell you that the stock market is efficient, but it's not. You know, like people overpay for some companies, and then some companies they underpay. Some companies are bargains out there, and they're instead of buying the bargains, they're buying the stuff that's expensive because they don't know how to value a business and how to know if something's cheap or expensive. But as you see, the richest Americans they concentrated. They didn't diversify. Amazon, Tesla, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Oracle, Berkshire Hathaway. These people at Microsoft, these people did not diversify. They concentrated. They oftentimes risked everything. They invested in themselves. You know, when Amazon was started, he was selling stuff in his garage. Elon Musk was days from going bankrupt a couple years ago, and now he's one of the richest people in the world. That's amazing to me. If we go in a couple days, you'd be bankrupt and broke, and have to file bankruptcy, and you know, a couple years later, you got $200 billion. But as you can see, the real estate people are way on down the list. There's a lot of people, if they did not start their own business or they were an early investor in that business, they got their wealth. Some of these from inheritance, or marriage, getting divorced or whatever. But you know, these were Walmart, Nike, divorce. But here you got investments right here. One of the founders of Blackstone, Mars, Candy, started his own business, inherited the casinos. But one of the ways money management, one of the ways to like I said, Jim Simmons is one of the greatest investors, and he's up here at 28. Um, a lot of these hedge fund managers got very wealthy because they, I hate to say it, but they basically ripped off their customers. Because the way these hedge funds work a lot of times is they take a flat 2% off the top. So all they care about really is not making money for the customer, but they're making money for themselves. You know, if you control, $500 billion and you take 2% every year, that's a lot of money compared to if you take 2% of a million or something. So what these big hedge funds care about is assets under management, because the more assets under management they get 2%, and then when you get that money, you can hire analysts, and you can hire analysts to go look at this stock and analysts to go look at that stock, and just bloat everything up, and have people making fancy graphs about this and fancy graphs about that. But all of this is really no value added. And then on top of that, they take 20% of all the profits. So they take a 2% flat fee and then 20% of all the profits. And that's how you see people like this that are, well, I want to show. Ray Dalio, because he runs the world's biggest hedge fund, and he was the one that said not that long ago, cash is trash, and that was a hilarious thing because he's wrong. Cash isn't trash. It manages $154 billion. And see, like he's made $20 billion, and he's just singing all the way to the bank because he's not making money for his investor; he's making money for himself. My goal of one day starting my own partnership or hedge fund or whatever is not charge 2% off the top, but say there's a high watermark. Say I got to get 6%, and then anything above 6%, I'll take 20% of the profits. And and if I can't get you 6%, well, I don't even deserve to be paid, in my opinion. But I'm not sure exactly, but the guy's name is Palbreri, and I think he has the most fair system. And the system I'm talking about is mirrored off of that system, where there's a high watermark, and then you get whether it's 5%, 6%, whatever it is, whatever the high water mark is, and then if you get excess of that, you get 20% of the profits. And I think that's fair because it rewards the person that is making the investments, and it also rewards the customers, the normal everyday investors. And the reason I would do this is not to become super rich myself or just steal all your money from you, but it's because I think I can get a better return than the market. Now, the sad truth is most hedge funds, they average a 7% return. And most investors would just be better off um, doing what Warren Buffett said and just stick 90% in an S&P 500 low-cost index like BOO or SPY, and then 10% in short-term treasury bills. Um, and then you never got to look at it again, except maybe tax time, once a year, whatever tax time. But you just every month you put in whatever you want to, $50, $100, $1,000, whatever you wanted to, dollar cost average, and you know, as America grows, your wealth will grow. But the sad truth is, these hedge funds, because they charge 2% flat fee and they take 20% of the profits, they their average return is about 7%. And that's 3 percentage points lower than what the S&P 500 gives you historically. Now, like I said, they have put $40 trillion of made up money into the system. And in order for true equilibrium to be found, $40 trillion has to be destroyed in one way, shape, or form in order for the true value of assets to be assessed. And everything is just pushed up right now. So I will say, if you invest in the S&P 500 today, you will not get a 10% return. You probably won't even get a 5%. You might probably get a negative 10% return, maybe a negative 20%. Your return will probably be negative, is what I'm saying. But yeah, they have created this whole industry that basically serves no purpose, and they're supposed to be helping the average person, the average school teacher, or the average engineer, or make better investment decisions and grow their wealth at a faster pace. And they're doing nothing but slowing the process down. If someone was getting 10% over 40 years, and the difference between that and getting 7%, you might have just lost $300,000 of your, $1 million retirement by giving your money to some idiot that has like the all-weather portfolio and thinks he knows everything about everything. Nobody knows everything about everything except maybe Jim Cramer, and you always want to do the opposite of whatever Jim Cramer says, because it was funny, like those bank stocks that went down like 90% or went bankrupt. He was recommending those like a week or two prior before they dropped 90%. He thinks he knows everything about everything. No person can know that much. And if you don't know something, you find the people who do know, or make the best educated guess that you can, based on the the data you have. But this is the whole reason why I want to start my own investment fund, is because I can do better than Ray Dalio. I can I don't need $20 billion. One day it'd be nice to have $20 billion, but I don't want to steal it from the average person. I want to earn it. And if I can't get you 6%, You know, like I don't deserve to be compensated for doing a poor ass job. You know, well, why should you be rewarded for doing a terrible job? In his all-weather portfolio, he wants a stock in this country and a stock in that country and a stock in this currency and a stock in that currency, and then I want oil and I want gold and he just wants everything. You want everything. You just buy the total stock market. Why do I need you? You don't need them. If all you can get is average, just buy the index and you'll get average. But for anybody, and these are Warren Buffett's words, or anybody that knows how to value a business, to just buy the whole index makes very little sense. Because, like I said, why would I invest in Tesla a couple years ago when I was trading at 1,000 times earnings? It would take me 1,000 years to get my money back. But people, just like the tulip bulb mania, people were buying tulip bulbs. And, people were in love with electric cars. And they were in love with clean energy, and they were in love with Elon Musk. What happens if Elon Musk gets assassinated? What is Tesla worth after that? You got your whole net worth basically invested in this person. And what happens if that person leaves, or he's got four or five other companies to run. Warren Buffett, he's getting old. He might die soon, and I don't know what's going to happen with Berkshire Hathaway. I think they're going to be in good hands. But that said, the stock of Berkshire Hathaway could drop. Whenever he dies, and hopefully, they got enough cash on hand that they would backstop that. So anytime the stock falls, say to book value, they will buy the stock, and they had $100 or $200 billion in cash, so they could do that. But he's 91 years old. So, Warren Buffett's not going to live forever. But I'm confident that whenever Warren Buffett does step down or does pass away, that they're going to be in good hands. And the guys that he's trusted to run his empire for him have been managing billions of dollars under him for years. So they're going to be fine. But what happens if someone kidnaps the Elon Musk? What's going to happen to Tesla? They're going to drop 50% in one day, 60%. But what I'm trying to show you is, in order to make a lot of money, you have to concentrate. You can't, some diversity is fine, but in order to make a lot of money, you got to start your own business, and you got to concentrate in that business. But you can also make a lot of money just being a great investor. As you can see, what was it, Jim Simmons up here in the 20s or something. And what Jim Simmons would do, he would actually go to that country. He'd go to these little small places in the world, and he would, find something that was undervalued and buy it, something that was cheap. And so, without starting, your own hedge fund or whatever, you can still make a lot of money. You still make a lot more money than you can in real estate. That's for sure. And I'm just going to tell you a little history about real estate. The town I grew up in, maybe 20, 30 years ago, was underwater. So what happens to the real estate when your town is underwater and nobody has flood insurance? Well, guess what? Your house just went to zero. And now you don't have a place to live. And what happens if you're in a small town and you're the main employer employs everybody in town? Now what happens to the real estate values when that one employer goes bankrupt or closes down shop? Well, I can tell you, it basically turns that town into poverty. You got foreclosures on every street. You got for sale signs on every street. Now, luckily, growing up, my parents were in education, so they weren't affected by this one industry going under. So it did not affect us so much, but it affected everyone around us. I mean, you go down a street and there'd be 30, 40 foreclosures or 30 or 40 for sale signs. And so now the people had no job. They had a house and a mortgage that they got to pay $1,500 or $2,000 a month on, and no job and no place to work. Now, the town I grew up in, you can make a good living with a high school education. You can make $60,000 or $70,000 a year if you just worked hard and left high school and just went to work and busted your butt, and you can make a decent living. And that's hard to do today. It's hard to make a good living with just a high school education today. But yeah, the point I'm trying to say is, even though real estate is less risky than I would say a lot of some stocks may be, real estate can also go down. It doesn't always have to go up. Like I said, real estate should go up about 2% every year. Now, let's say you got a $200,000 house and your neighbor moves in and builds $1 million house. Well, guess what? Your home value just went up because you got a millionaire house right next to you. And then let's say that you got a millionaire on the other side. Well, then your house just went up again in value, and then maybe someone wants to buy your house and turn it into $1 million house. But you could also buy a house and someone move in with a trailer and have a bunch of trash in their backyard and a bunch of junk. And guess what? That brings down your home value. And then you got another neighbor that got a trailer and with a bunch of junk on the other side, and maybe even a pig farm or something. So not only does it look bad, but it smells bad and it stinks. And so then your home value could go down with that too. But also in this day and age, there's so many homeless people, and everyone wants free rent. Everyone wants the government to pay their rent for them. You got homeless people that are breaking into houses, and they can live there for like 2 or 3 years before they even get evicted. So you say you got this house that you want for rental income, and to maybe help pay your own mortgage, and then you got a squatter or something in there that refuses to leave, and then you have to go through the legal process and give them a formal eviction notice and bring the police out there to. But you got to deal with lawyers, and you got to deal with courts, and it's just a big hassle. And yeah, you may get lucky and not have to deal with that, but it's definitely a risk. If you buy this house for rental income, you better make sure that you can pay that mortgage on your own without having to rely on a renter paying your mortgage for you. Because if something like that happens, you're going to get stuck paying two mortgages. So I just want people to invest with their eyes wide open, and be able to. I mean, real estate can go down by 50%. Same as a stock. Let's say you got a house on the water and you get a flood, and you got no flood insurance, and then a big tree comes and falls on your roof, and now you need a $20,000 roof, and you need somewhere to stay while they clean up your house. And I'm not saying real estate is not a bad investment, but don't expect more than. Now, if you invest in good deals as far as real estate, they can, give you 10% return or so, but maybe even better. If you're house flipping, and you live in there, you can get a lot more than that. But I believe the best way to create wealth in this country is through investing in companies. Investing in individual companies through the stock market, or making your own company, and this is proof. Like I said, you won't see the first real estate person on here till almost 50, number 50, and here you got a hedge fund guy, money management guys that a lot earlier than that. So unless you're the owner of Google or Mars Candy or Walmart, your best path to accumulating a lot of wealth, and even a school teacher or engineer, if they say 15% of their income, work the same job for 40 years, invest that 15%, you might have $7 or $8 million at the end of 40 years. You definitely would be a millionaire, but you have a chance to be a lot more than a millionaire, to have, like I said, 7 or 8 million, maybe even 10. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys.